Welcome into the latest episode of Dad's Watching Sports, guys. It's episode 25. We are a quarter way to the century mark here on Dad's Watching Sports. It's the week of July 26, 2020. Last week I started out the show saying happy birthday to my mother. I'm going to do the same thing this week. Happy birthday to my sister-in-law. We celebrated her birthday today. Lauren, happy birthday to you. Guys, welcome in. Dad's Watching Sports, Michael Draper, the Kyle Castles, the Matt Kirk, the three amigos back together once again. And we've got a very fun and interesting show. We're going to get into a lot of different topics, both dad-related and sports-related, as that's what we do on this program. If you haven't checked us out yet before on the RTF Sports Network, please do that. A lot of things are going on, and you guys, anybody that's listened to this show for the last couple of months definitely knows that as we've switched times on their network. It seems like about every 2 or 3 weeks, and that's because they're getting a lot of new shows, a lot of good stuff, and they're really trying to line up what they feel like is their prime time content during prime time times. And guys, I'm pleased to share that we will be kicking off what they call kind of the prime time noon drive time hour, lunchtime hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can check us out on the RTF Sports Network Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. There on the RTF Sports Network. Just go to rtfsportsnetwork.com and check out Dad's Watching Sports. And we've got some breaking news for the fans out there. If you check out our Facebook page, and social media may not be so breaking, but starting next week, so Sunday, August the 2nd, we're going to be streaming this show live via the RTF Sports Network Facebook page. That's going to be Sunday nights at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And when we're doing that on their Facebook page, we want you to interact with us, and we want to get definitely some fan involvement. So check us out on their page. And then some other breaking news is we're going to be launching a second episode starting next week as well. It's going to be a second show in the middle of the week on Wednesdays. Sometimes it'll be live, and we'll get that information out. Majority of the time, it's probably going to be recorded, and we're going to try to come up with some different stuff to do on that show. It's just a half hour, not a full hour show. But guys, Matt, some really exciting news for Dads Watching Sports is we're going to be providing some excellent content, both live and recorded, for all those dads out there.
Yes, it's going to be great. We got a lot of new stuff coming your way, and it's going to be fantastic.
That it is. Guys, we're going to get right into it. And before we got a lot of sports talk coming, but we'll get to that later on for sure. But a couple of quick things, guys. First off, I've got to admit, the Draper family, we've had a little rough time around water with some very expensive items recently. I talked about on our vacation, my wife, we went on a vacation. We're out in the middle of the lake. She loses her watch. And yesterday we were out on the river. Shout out to Higher Pursuits. They did an awesome job with their kayaking and canoe riddles. Bought a hat. We were out on the Duck River, and we had been out about an hour or so, and the wedding ring went for a swim and never came back home. So not fun there. Man, you think that Kyle, it's kind of a funny story. My wife and I both, this will now make it to where neither of us have the rings that we gave each other on our wedding day. It's kind of an unfortunate happening there, but my wedding ring was not the only thing that was lost this weekend, Kyle. You had a fun weekend. I previewed it on the RTS Sports Network Facebook page, but you had a fun weekend. Tell us a little bit about how your weekend went and how you can't feel a certain part of your body right now.
Well, no, the problem is I can feel it.
Touché.
So here's what happened. December last year, my wife gave birth to a beautiful little girl, and that gave us 2 boys and 1 girl. And now that we have at least one of each, we decided that we were done having kids. And usually what that means is the guy goes in and gets a vasectomy. So Friday morning, we got to the doctor's office a little before 8 o'clock, and I was walking out right at about 8:45.
Nice.
Like Lance Armstrong.
No, not like Lance Armstrong. They're both still there. I will say it was the most uncomfortable I have ever been. So my hope was that they were going to kind of like do some sort of topical numbing thing first before the shot, but they don't. He just took a needle out, stuck it in, put it in, we did one testicle at a time. And
did you laugh?
No,
at the testicle? A testicle. Okay.
It was a very it was not as painful as I thought, but it was a very weird feeling because you could feel it, you could feel the liquid in the syringe, feel my testicle. It was a very, very weird feeling. Once I was numb, he got started. Now I'm over 2 days out, and I'm still swole up pretty good. So I feel like I'm sitting weird and walking weird. But I'm hoping I wake up in the morning with a lot less swelling, and I got a meeting at work that I got to go to and sit in some really uncomfortable chairs all day. So hopefully it's a little better. But I got a story. And this is not meant to scare anybody, but this is a word of caution.
I'm already scared. we're well past that.
Mike, you're good. You're good. You're good.
But I'm screwed.
So I'm laying there on the table, and right, like you don't get put out for this.
I'm not gonna make it through this.
You're wide awake for all of it, and the doctor walks in. Like the nurse has already been in there and kind of prepped the area, and the doctor walks in, and the first thing he says is, "This is going to be hard."
Okay.
And I go,
you said I already am.
And I literally like laughed. It was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "No, I'm serious." And then he explained why. So, those that watch the show on YouTube, this will not come as a surprise. But those of you who haven't seen me, I am very overweight. I'm working on it. I've actually dropped like 17 pounds or so in the last month and a half. So
nice.
like I'm getting there, but I'm still way overweight. And so when you're in a cold room and they put cold betadine on you,
oh god,
you see where this is going. There is some we'll call it shrinkage, right? But when you're overweight, there is more tissue around the area, so it's like they kind of go up into that tissue.
Oh boy.
So if you're not overweight, if you're thin, like Michael, you don't have to. They don't really have anywhere to go. And Matt, I'm sorry, and Matt. But when you're overweight like me, there's other places they can kind of go hide. So before he could even put the shot in, he had to pull them down out of me and put a clamp right above them.
Oh no.
When I say it was the most uncomfortable I've ever been, and I did not tell y'all this story. Y'all can vouch. I did not tell y'all this story until right now. This is the actual reaction
this
from
is
both
the live reaction.
So before he could perform the procedure, he had to clamp my scrotum right above my testicles.
Oh my gosh!
Did you ask him to hold your hand while he was doing it?
I mean, I wish he had. I wish
squeeze
he
when it hurts.
I wish he would have just bought me dinner first.
Yeah, yeah,
like a nice seafood dinner.
Actually, to say, hey man, you might want to get a couple of cocktails in you before
yeah.
come in.
Tell him you like the Jack and Coke.
Oh, that was. But okay, so there you go. There was the story that I held from y'all until the show.
That's well, God bless you, sir, for going through all that. And I mean, I think we've talked about this at length offline about that's probably the fate of all of us. And now I am without a doubt a little more scared than I ever would have been, knowing that there's potentially a clamp involved.
So I have a question, Kyle.
Yeah.
So they say that a man feels really different after he gets done. Can you tell a vast difference?
Did you just say a vast difference?
So we are We're 9.5 minutes into this show, and it is off the rails already. For anyone that's listening, especially if they're related to us, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I actually have this in my notes. Family, those of y'all that listen, like,
disclaimer.
I'm so sorry for all of this story, but
Disclaimer.
like, you gotta give the listeners what they want.
Yep. And this is a show all about dads. And again, I'm sure everyone listening has either gone through this or thinking about going through this. So it's
I'm surprised you have the balls to talk about this in front of your family, Kyle.
Wow. Wow.
Matt's got his jokes. Oh man, that is absolutely hilarious. Well, Kyle, heal up, and so what's the downtime? I mean, what's the?
So what do you? I asked him, and he said that he was like, you can get up and kind of do whatever you feel like doing tomorrow. So yesterday, what I felt like doing was basically laying around with an ice pack between my legs, and that's what I did for most of it. Now, the fun thing is, mine and my wife's anniversary was Friday when the procedure happened.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. I wanted to get it done before school got back in session, and so and we were on vacation, so it was either this past Friday or this coming Friday, and the Monday after, a week from tomorrow, as we record this, is my first day fully back at work. The summer is over.
Well, man, I think that's a pretty great anniversary gift. It's like, hey, honey, I recognize the fact that you bore these 3 children and you went through so much, and I'm just gonna have you not go through that ever again. And because of that, here's what I'm going to sacrifice for our family.
I would cut my ball off for you, baby.
No, it was bad, but I will say, last night we went out to dinner. Grammy and Papa came over and watched the kids, and
she changed out the ice.
And we went to a spot called Urban Grub. Shout out to Urban Grub in 12 South in Nashville.
Yeah.
I had a Kansas City strip that was fantastic, and some smoked Gouda and Chipotle grits, and grilled okra, and some mac and cheese.
There we go.
So it was.
Did you have dessert?
Did have dessert. I had peanut butter cheesecake.
Oh, you SOB.
And the wife they actually had donuts, and the donuts they brought out, we didn't realize that the desserts were shareable. So, like, I swear to you, my cheesecake slice was about that long. Those of you on the not watching on YouTube, you're looking at probably about a foot long slice of cheesecake.
Yep. I'm glad we separated the two conversations that we've had.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Nope.
Well, Kyle, we're glad you're on the mend, man, and thanks for sharing with all the listeners out there about the dangers of going into this procedure. But it seems like other than this little tenderness, which can be overcome, you're healing up and getting ready to.
Oh yeah.
Trudge on.
I'm doing good. It's not that bad. Even all of it, even the story, it's not that bad. You'll make it fine.
Yep, absolutely. Well, good deal. Well, guys, one other thing we've got to go to a break in about 2 minutes, but one other thing I wanted to share with you, and this is kind of a poor transition. I don't really know how you transitioned away from that last that topic there, but I was on one of the social media platforms this past week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, and came across this video, and it's going to take me just a second to get with you guys here, but I'm going to share my screen. And then I'm going to share my audio.
What's on your background, Michael?
Hey, man, don't worry about that. All right. So I want you guys to listen to this.
Think about the honor of the opportunity. This young man that's coming towards me right now on this lawnmower, that's my son. He's cutting the grass and zigzagging all over the place. And you know what? It's perfectly fine. While I may have cut in a certain pattern, he's doing his thing in the way that he wants to do it. And it's totally okay. He's getting the grass cut. It may not be Dad's way, but he's getting it done. And therein is the honor of the opportunity. Being able to give him a place where he can figure out how he wants to get things done, that's a great privilege. As a young man, I don't need him doing things exactly the way I did it. He's been born for another generation, another time, and he's going to do greater things than I've ever done. Right now, it just seems like he's cutting grass. But in my mind, because I know my son wants to be an engineer, I see his mind at work, and I know that what he's producing now is going to help him in the future. I challenge you to look for the honor and the opportunity of relationships that you have.
So shout out to at BA Shepherd on TikTok. I forgot that I was that was on TikTok that I did that. But anyways, guys, we're going to go to a quick break here in just a second, but we'll get our takes coming up after the break. But just wanted to play that for you because I think I was pretty impacted when I heard that. But we're going to go to a quick break on Dad's Watching Sports. We'll come back and talk about what we're actually going to talk to our children that we do have out with that. So we'll be right back after this. Thanks for checking out this week's episode of Dad's Watching Sports. We hope you subscribe to our show in Apple Podcast app as well, or wherever you listen to podcasts. But are you following us on social media? Now, whether your thing is Facebook, Twitter, the Gram, YouTube, or yes, even TikTok, you can find some great dad content on all of our pages. Now, enough of this nonsense. We just need to pay Kirk's PlayStation internet bill. Now, back to the show with Matt, Kyle, Michael, and all the fun of Dad's Watching Sports. Welcome back to Dad's Watching Sports. This is the podcast all about our lives as dads and the worldwide world of sports. Michael Draper, Kyle Castles, and Matt Kirk. We just heard in depth from Kyle about his vasectomy that happened over the weekend. So if you missed that, definitely go back and check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts, whether it be Apple iTunes or wherever have you, and check that out because there's some really important information. If you're thinking about doing it, Kyle gives you some good reasons to, maybe some good reasons not to, or just some forewarnings, I guess you could say. But definitely check us out. Leave us, if you're checking us out in a place you listen to podcasts, leave us a rating and review as well, as we would definitely appreciate that. And we'll give you a shout out on the show if you do. Guys, right before we left for our break, I played something from at BA Shepherd on TikTok, and I was talking about the honor of the opportunity, and the illustration that he used was his son was mowing the yard. He was getting it done, but he was kind of zigzagging all over the place, and it wasn't Dad's way, but it was still getting it done. And when I saw that, I'll be honest, it really kind of resonated with me. My wife and I are both very efficient people, and we don't really hide that. We mostly pride ourselves on that. But we both definitely catch ourselves from time to time, especially with our kids, trying to get things done the most efficient way, even them, and instructing them to get things done the most efficient way, but not really giving them the creativity to do it their way. And so when I heard this, it was just like a slap across the face, like, let your kids do it their way. Let them mess up. Let them explore new ways to do things. And I'm really going to try to do that going forward. So that was my takeaway from it. And it's definitely something that over the next little bit that I'm going to really try to be as mindful as I can to say, yes, it's going to take your daughter 35 more minutes to figure out how to get her shoe on without you doing it for her. But she needs to figure that out for herself, or she needs to do it a creative way. And that may be a bad example, but there's going to be things that your kids need to do for themselves because it helps them grow, but it really just allows them to develop their character, their sense of their development and things like that. So it really resonated with me. Matt, what did you think when listening to that?
I thought it was great. That's a great example of a great father. He's got a son that's in college, I think is what he said, right? High school. And he's mowing the grass for him, and, he's not doing it his way. And I can tell you, if I had cut the grass the way that opposite of what my dad wanted, he would have been on me like a fly on poo. But, for that guy to do that, let his son do it his way is awesome. For us in our house, we're trying to let my daughter, which, she's only a year a year and 4 months now. But, we kind of let her explore and try to learn things. And, we're trying to let her try to figure things out on her own. And it's not always easy because you want to help them. But ultimately, it's what ends up being best for them because that's how they learn.
Yeah.
So I think it was great, and that's a great dad. In fact, I'm going to go on TikTok and give him a follow.
Yep, I did as well, and shot him a message and said, "Man, thank you. I needed that. Like that was a slap in the face. Just a good reminder that our way may be the most efficient way, but that doesn't mean it's the right way to teach your child." Kyle, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean it's a great video. The whole time I was thinking about getting my two boys. I got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and just getting them to clean up. And it bugs me to no end when I ask them to pick up, and they will step over things to go pick up other things. Like, just get what's close to you and move outward from there. And like they eventually will get it. Even if I don't say a word, they will eventually get everything picked up. So what do I care if it takes them, 30 minutes longer?
Yep.
Let them pick it up. So yeah, I love it. It's something that probably needs to stay close to the forefront of all of our minds as we deal with our kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, at BA Shepherd on TikTok, check him out. He's got a lot of good stuff, but we'll definitely give him another shout out. So guys, there has been an opportunity this past weekend to finally watch some Major League Baseball. We had baseball really kind of kicking off late last week, and it's been going on all weekend. Guys, I don't know if y'all remember, but back, I believe it was on episode 18, we made our World Series picks. Kyle, you went with the Dodgers and Yankees, and where Matt and I both went with the Yankees and Braves. So Yankees well represented, and they've looked good so far. Kyle, I'll toss it to you first. Any change at all on your Dodgers Yankees pick, or are you going to stick with it?
No, I'm sticking with it. My wife's a big Dodger fan, so that Thursday night game we watched, and when Kirsch couldn't go, and they found out, hours before the game, and they threw Dustin May in, and that kid, he's got a nasty slider. When you have that kind of talent just kind of sitting there,
he's got great hair too.
He's got some great hair. He kind of has a, the comedian Carrot Top.
Yeah.
Very similar look.
Mm-hmm.
But no, just the talent there with Mookie down in LA. And then with Giancarlo Stanton is back, and he's hit 3 home runs, I think, just this weekend.
Yep.
Like, it's stupid. There's too much talent. I'm a Cubs fan. And my Cubs beat your Brewers 2 out of 3 to start off the year.
Yes, they
I
did.
just want to throw that out there.
Yeah,
but
we were gonna get to that, yeah.
I'm sure you want to talk about your Brewers not being very good. But I don't think that my Cubs can play with the Dodgers in a best of 7.
Yeah, I went with Yankees and Braves. I'll stick with it as well, just for the formality of it. And it's a shortened season. I think a lot of different things could happen. The Braves have got to replace some guys that are not going to be there for them right now. And so I think when you look at the American League, I know the Astros are good. There's a few other teams, but the Yankees, that lineup from an offensive standpoint, man, is just there's no holes. And as a pitcher, you look at that and you're just like, my goodness, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. Well, and the kid that the Yankees had on the mound today, I've gone blank on his name, and I apologize, but he's got some nasty stuff too. And I think he's like 23 or something. Like, he's young and just got nasty stuff. So they got some pitchers too.
Well, and the Astros are taking quite a hit too, so I would not count on the Astros without Verlander. If he's out for the year, they're done.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yep, without a doubt. Matt, any thoughts at all on not necessarily Yankees and Braves as your pick, but just what you've seen so far with baseball?
Man, I am pumped that sports are back. I'm a Rangers fan, as I mentioned on our Instagram page, which we got an overwhelming amount of comments on my post about the baseball. I believe you were actually the only one, Michael, so I'm a little bit disappointed. I was trying to upsell it. So if you're listening to this, go comment on our social media. It makes me feel good. I didn't sleep that night because I only got one comment. So please go comment so I can sleep a little. But anyway, I just am excited that we have live sports. We got NHL starting tomorrow. The NBA starts on Friday, and I could not be more excited. I am actually making my homemade sausages. I'm going to make homemade jalapeno cheddar cheeseburger, bratwurst, on Saturday. And going to hang out on Saturday night and watch a bunch of NBA basketball. So I couldn't be more excited.
Absolutely. So Matt, earlier this past week, I think it was on Friday, actually, I did a live video stream to the RTF Sports Network Facebook page and tossed out for people to say, hey, who's your favorite team? And you were one of the people that commented and saying the Rangers, you thought they were going to go. I believe you said maybe 58-2. Any additional?
I said 59-1, Michael.
Okay, yeah.
And I unfortunately have already lost. The Rangers got beat again today. Now making that feat impossible unless they somehow can prove the Rockies were juicing, and they have to forfeit a win.
There you go.
So that's what I'm going to hope for.
Kyle, any early predictions on records wise for the Cubbies?
So this is going to be really random. I would say somewhere between 35 and 40 wins. I think 40 might be a little too high. So, I cut it in the middle and said 37 and 23 record for the Cubs. I think we come in second or third in the Central, and we're I think the Cardinals could beat us and your Brewers. But I still think that gets us into the playoffs, could move into 16 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm very similar to with you on the Brewers. I think they're going to be right there as well. I had them actually at 38 and 20. I guess it's 38 and 22. But I mean it's going to be a very close. That division is just going to be down to probably the last couple of games there.
I think it's my Cubs, your Brewers, and the Cards, and then El Central, and it could go to any of the three.
Yeah, without a doubt. So Matt, you had a good idea of over the past couple of weeks we've been kind of choosing different whether it was EPL teams to follow, which Newcastle took a tough loss to Liverpool today, or NASCAR drivers, Double J. But you had a good idea about doing this lottery system where we pick an MLB team based off a completely random pick. Then we come up with a punishment who finishes last. So I'm going to toss it to you to get us rolling here with our lottery, and I'll just kind of let you take it from here.
Okay, so we'll just go I'll start with I'll go with Michael first. We'll pick for Michael first, Kyle, and then I'll go last.
Do we get any mulligans here? So if I land on the Miami Marlins, can I just be like, "There's no way"?
Oh no, you gotta stick with what you get.
No, yeah. Now this is like golf, Michael. You play the ball where it lies. There's no kicking it back on the fairway.
Well, yeah, I believe in little fairies that throw the ball back out on the fairway.
I was about to say, if we're playing it like I play golf, we got to throw it on the fairway, or I won't find the ball.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you have to. We aren't playing with hand wedges or our foot wedge today.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's right. All right. We're just rolling here.
All right. So this first pick is for Michael. Get this here. Okay. All right. So I got all 30 baseball teams.
Yep.
I'll just kind of show you here. Got MLB. It's a little sneak peek. We're also doing this for the NBA, y'all.
There we are. Stay tuned. Episode 26.
Giving things away.
I'm starting in advance, Kyle, but you're going to lose all three. Okay. All right. So we're going to pick. Oh, hold on.
I'm a little.
I apologize. I wasn't prepared here, gentlemen.
I'm a little concerned about the
integrity
of this
Okay.
draft here.
For
those of you not watching right now,
your pick is the Dodgers.
Oh yes, nice. All right, LA, let's go. Kyle, tell Lauren I am needing some Dodger blue stuff. So, all right, Matt, what do we got next?
Okay. All right, Kyle. It's you next. Ooh, you got the Padres, Kyle.
Oh God!
Remember, we're not making any extra any mulligans here.
No hand or foot wedges. All right, and here we go for mine. Oh. And I've got the Nationals.
Oh, I'm losing. Dadgummit.
Oh man! So we have all Nationals.
It's a long season, Kyle,
and we're all in the NL. That's interesting.
I need to interrupt what we're doing real quick. I just need to give a shout out to my wife. I am beyond proud of her. So we have a Peloton, and there's these things called Grand Fundos in cycling. It's where groups of people get together and ride for a long time. Well, Peloton riders do the same thing. And this weekend, she has gone for more than 50 miles in her first fundo that she didn't even know it was a thing until Friday night. So great job to Lauren Castles. She is a rock star.
Absolutely. Good job, Lauren. We are very proud of you and look forward to seeing. I don't know. We don't have a Peloton. I would love to get one though. It seems like those things are pretty awesome. But yeah, kudos to Lauren, man. That's doing her thing at Castle's Family Law and killing it on the Peloton. That's pretty impressive. So guys, we just got about 45 seconds here before the break. Padres.
We still
Nationals,
have our punishments to talk about.
Oh yeah, we'll get the punishments after the break. But we've got
Okay.
Padres, Nationals, and Dodgers. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I feel pretty darn good about where I stand with this deal. But it'll be Kyle. Any thoughts really quickly on the Padres?
I mean, like, go back to the first segment. I look at what I've already gone through. Is this not punishment enough?
No, apparently not. You know, I would say the Padres is very 2020 of this to come out for you there. But guys, we got to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the punishments for the loser, aka Kyle, in this competition, and we will be right back on Dad's Watching Sports. Y'all stay with us. Thanks for checking out this week's episode of Dad's Watching Sports. We hope you subscribe to our show in Apple Podcast app as well, or wherever you listen to podcasts. But are you following us on social media? Now, whether your thing is Facebook, Twitter, the Gram, YouTube, or yes, even TikTok, you can find some great dad content on all of our pages. Now, enough of this nonsense. We just need to pay Kirk's PlayStation internet bill. Now, back to the show with Matt, Kyle, Michael, and all the fun of Dad's Watching Sports. Welcome back to Dad's Watching Sports. Michael Draper, Kyle Castles, Matt Kirk. It is episode 25. Guys, we are a quarter of a century into the Dad's Watching Sports. It's hard to believe. I mean, Super Bowl Sunday, we launched with our first show, and here we are on July 26, 25 episodes in. We've been through a pandemic and still going through it. We've been through sports being canceled. We've been through vasectomies. We've been through it all. And here we are still producing a show each and every week. And if you didn't hear at the beginning of the program, starting next week, we've got some really exciting news. On Sundays, we will be going live on the RTS Sports Network Facebook page, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, for an hour. And then on Wednesdays, we'll be recording a second show that'll be coming to you on Thursdays for our half-hour program. So it's going to be a half-hour show. We're going to try to change it up, maybe some completely different topics, maybe some polls, maybe some brackets. It's going to be a little bit different than just our traditional show. Maybe some guests along the way as well. But we're looking forward to that. It'll be part two of Dad's Watching Sports, and we're very excited. So, guys, we did our MLB Lottery selections before the break. Kyle hangs his head in shame as he drew the Padres, which is very exciting. And you remember, if you don't remember, a couple of weeks ago on Father's Day, we tried to name Padres players, and none of us really came up with any, which is
does not bode well.
It doesn't bode well. Matt ended up with the Nationals, the defending World Series champions, and I got the Dodgers, which is one of the best teams in baseball, which I feel really good about. Matt, I got to ask you, man, what in the world are you doing? Because you're making a lot of noise right now.
I apologize. I always had to roll back, and I rolled forward. And, yeah.
There you go. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. All right, so punishment time. So what our deal is we're now going to ride with those three teams, and we will come up with a punishment for whoever is whoever finishes in last place of those three, also known as what Kyle will be doing. So, guys, we'll keep that in mind. Matt, give us a couple of options that you're thinking for our possible punishments for essentially Kyle.
All right, so 1, to get a vasectomy. Oh, wait.
Done.
I'm kidding. Okay, so the one I said that a person has to shave their legs, whoever finishes last.
Dude,
and you have to do it on the show, by the way. You have to do it live on the show.
Can I nair them instead of shaving them?
No. That's a big fat no. You have to shave them.
That would be such a shot, yeah. That's rough.
Yeah, that's
next option.
Okay, and I can get pretty wild with these now because I, in fact, am not going to lose. So
appreciate that. So how about you be nice to me?
And then the next one is the loser has to paint their fingernails a bright color for 24 hours, picked by the winner. And then next, I say that the person has to go live on the Dad's Watching Sports Facebook page and talk about how great the winner is, and pretty much has to do whatever the winner says that they have to say. And 4, I would say the cinnamon challenge. So it's where you eat a tablespoon of cinnamon with no water or without anything to wash it down. You just have to eat it. Okay. And of course, this will be live here on the show as well. And for the option that Kyle's probably going to want, you have to donate $100 to a charity of the first place's choice.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and make my votes. I'm voting for either the cinnamon challenge, because I think that'd be hilarious to do in the middle of the show, no matter who of us it is, or the donation of $100 to the winner's choice. Kyle, I'll toss it to you next. And let's say, I mean, yes, it looks like you're probably not in good shape, but one or two injuries. I mean, seriously, but one or two injuries, and this changes completely. So.
Yeah. So I would, Matt, you're right. The $100 donation is definitely my pick. If I had to pick another one, it would be painting my fingernails a bright color. I am. It's another story that I can tell at a later date, but I have walked out of a pedicure with clear polish on my toes. So it would be the first time I had polish on either toenails or fingernails.
Hey man, nothing wrong with a good petty.
No, not at all.
Nothing wrong with it. All right, Matt. What's your votes?
I'm saying the shave the legs and the going live on Facebook, or the donation. Or actually, I'm going to go, instead of the donation, I'm going to go with the cinnamon challenge.
Okay, so we need to be unanimous here.
I really don't want to do the cinnamon challenge. I'm just going to
Okay, then I'll do the donation to make it better, and plus it'll go for a good cause, and that'll be great for everybody involved.
Okay, we'll do the Kyle. Are you confident?
I'm
good with the donation. Okay, we'll do the what we said, $100 donation to the nonprofit of the winner, or the cause of the winners, whoever comes in first place. Is that what we want?
If $100 is too much, obviously that can be negotiated.
We can adjust as necessary.
Okay, cool.
All right, there
we don't want
is.
to put one on the spot.
There he is. See, and what we'll also do is throughout the season is we'll maybe bring up some of those causes throughout the season, the next couple of episodes throughout the season, maybe get some fan input as well, because we definitely want to highlight causes that we appreciate, but definitely some that others do as well. And maybe we can get other people to donate at the end of the season as well. That would be really cool. So I like that idea a lot. Guys, one thing we did not mention, before we get to that, Matt mentioned we're also going to do this for the NBA, so we'll do that on next week's show. So stay tuned for that as well, and hopefully Kyle won't suffer the non-luck of the draw as well for that. Guys, one thing we didn't mention a couple of weeks ago, and we should have, and it with everything else going on and with vacations and whatnot, it just kind of simply slipped my mind and our minds as the world lost a pretty remarkable guy and a musician and a talent in Charlie Daniels. Everybody I feel like in the world knows the devil went down to Georgia, but was just a really great guy, stood for a lot of good things. And it led me to kind of think, one, we just want to, give well wishes and prayers to all of his family. But, that is one of the most iconic country songs of all time. And I thought, you know what, why not toss that out to our top 5 country songs of all time, and you can use that as what you think would be considered if somebody made a list, or I'm sure there probably is a list, or what are your top 5 country songs of all time. You can kind of do that either way, but we're going to get that list started for you right now. So our top 5 country songs of all time. I'll go first, and we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 around robin, kind of like we normally do, guys. So my number 5 is a song that I remember when I heard it for the first time. I think I was actually with my grandfather and was just like, what the heck is this song talking about? And then thought it was hilarious that the guy and his dad getting a fist fight at the very end. And so my number 5 country music song of all time is Boy Named Sue by Johnny Cash. Matt, number 5 for you.
Number 5 by me. This is a little bit less traditional. This is actually a Texas country song, and it's called "Feet Don't Touch the Ground" by Stoney LaRue.
That is a great song, and I didn't know if anybody else knew Stoney LaRue, but I love me some Stoney LaRue.
Oh, I love me some ST or some SL. Sorry.
There you go. Kyle, what about yourself?
I did not go Stoney LaRue, but I did go Johnny Cash for number 5.
Nice.
I tried to put together what I think is just the 5 best country songs of all time based on just what I like and, quite frankly, what I think is just pure country. And so number 5 is I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash.
Nice. That's a good one. It's a good movie as well.
It is a good movie.
If you ever check that out, it's definitely a good Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon, I believe.
Yeah.
So number 4 on mine, man, is a song that when I hear this, I know every single word, and every time I'm just like, oh man, this one will get you right here. And that is Austin by Blake Shelton. Oh man, I mean, it just that you're talking about tugging at your heartstrings too. It'll get you. Matt, what about you? What's your number 4?
For number 4 here, I'm going to go with "Achy Breaky Heart" by Billy Ray Cyrus.
Nice. That was a cult phenomenon.
And so was the mullet.
And so was the mullet. Yeah. Yeah.
It's called the Oklahoma Waterfall.
Anybody like us that grew up in the 90s, anywhere you went, that song was on and people were boot scooting and boogieing all over the place. Kyle, you're number 4.
Number 4, again, another classic for me. The only song I have in my top 5 by a female, but probably the best country song by a female ever, definitely in my opinion, "Crazy" by Patsy Cline.
Ooh, all right. We're going to stick with you, Kyle, for your number 3 song. What is your number 3 song?
Number 3, I think a lot of people, I do kind of consider him to be the father of modern country, and that is Hank Williams Sr. and "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry." Man, that's a great song.
There we go. Well, I went with my number 3 is with a song by his own son, Hank Williams Jr., and I got "Family Tradition" by Hank Williams Jr. as my number 3. Matt, what is your number 3?
For number 3, I'm going to go "Chattahoochee" by Alan Jackson.
Ooh, yeah, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie.
Way down yonder.
I don't know what that is, but I actually got to meet him one time and asked him what that was, and he said it just rhymed.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. That's a good answer. Well, Matt, we'll stick with you for your number 2. So number 2, and before we get to this, if you're listening, and we know you are out there, shoot us Instagram message, a Facebook, a Twitter, or whatever you want to do. Let us know your top 5 country music songs of all time. Because we would love to hear from you. Maybe we'll play a little bit, and bring those up on our next episode. So with all that said, Matt, numero 2.
All right. So I'm going to go with a song by Luke Combs, and it is called "Hurricane" by Luke Combs. I was trying to have some build up there, but I didn't build anything up. Except for maybe the clog in my arteries.
There you go. Okay, so my number 2 is by a song by what is probably widely known as the biggest and best entertainer of all time. And my number 2 is "Friends in Low Places" by Garth Brooks. To me, it's not my number 1 because my number 1 is just, it's golden. But "Friends in Low Places" is like the ultimate honky tonk country music song that every single person knows every single word to, even the third verse. So "Friends in Low Places." Kyle, what do you got for your number 2?
Mike, tell them we did not plan this. This was nothing we talked about prior. My number 2 is the exact same song. It's "Friends in Low Places" by Garth Brooks. I mean, you hear those first 3 dun 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 chords, and you know exactly what song it is. It comes on, and growing up where we grew up, that song comes on, and every dude just belts it at the top of their lungs. And,
oh yeah.
I mean, it's "Friends in Low Places."
I mean, anytime you start with a song that "Blame It All on My Roots, I Showed Up in Boots," my goodness gracious. All right, Kyle, we'll let you start us off with number 1 as we finish our top 5 country music songs of all time in honor of Mr. Charlie Daniels.
Well, my number 1 is widely considered the greatest country song of all time. If you look at a lot of different lists, it's usually, if it's not number 1, it's right there. And it's by the greatest country singer of all times, and that is the real King George, George Jones, and the song is "He Stopped Loving Her Today." And it doesn't get much more country than saying she left him and he loved her until he died. I mean, it's good country music.
Absolutely. Matt, what was your number 1?
I am going to go with the real best song in country music history, by the other King George, and it is called "Oceanfront Property" I
Good
love
song.
that song.
That's a good one.
It makes me want to stomp my foot and snap it.
There you go.
Don't you remember that dance I did at your wedding?
I do. There was some of this, a little bit
Yep.
of and you can't see my foot, but I got a little tap going.
Yep. They have to be together. They have to go at the same time.
That's right, at the same time. Well, Kyle, you talked about, what's widely known as the greatest country music singer of all time, and I'm right there. I think when you look across the landscape of country music, it doesn't get any better than Joe Diffie, and so that is why my number one song of all time is "John Deere Green" by Joe Diffie, because on a hot summer night, Billy Bob was loving Charlene, and
Yeah, he was.
he put those letters 3 foot high. John Deere Green. So, and rest in peace. Rest his soul. Passed away.
The whole town thought he should have used red, though.
He should
I don't know
have.
if you knew that.
Well, the whole town was wrong because it doesn't get any better than John Deere Green.
No, it doesn't.
So there you have it. We've got little Joe Diffie and both King Georges as the top country songs of all time. As I mentioned, let us know your picks throughout the week. We'd love to hear from you. And again, I'm surprised none of us listed the Devil Went Down to Georgia. Is definitely one of the top country songs of all time for sure. I mean, that's one of the most recognizable right off the bat. So rest in peace to Charlie Daniels. And
that's kind of a coincidence. You just went to Georgia.
That's right.
And
yeah. All right, guys, let's get to some sports topics here. After all this is Dad's Watching Sports. This past week, we saw a couple of major deals that went through in terms of contracts for players. Patrick Mahomes got a buttload of money for a buttload of years, and then so did Mookie Betts with the Dodgers. So it brought up to me, we're not going to debate are they worth that deal because you're worth the deal that you get. I mean, at least your agent is, I guess. But it kind of brought up the point to me of who are the current professional athletes right now that you would give a 10-plus year deal to, and this could be across any sports. So, Matt, I'll toss it to you first. Let's go ahead and give us your 3, 2, and 1, your top 3 of current professional athletes who you'd give a 10-year deal to.
For my top 10 players right now, I would give a 10-year deal to Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. I would give one for sure to Lamar Jackson. And I would give one for my number 1, I guess you could say, I would probably want to give one to Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs. He is so fast.
Kyle, what about you?
So I'm not going with any football player. Football is too violent, and you can watch Alex Smith from 2 years ago, and you can see how that can go poorly in a hurry. So for me, going 3, 2, 1, I went Ja Morant at number 3.
Nice.
Yeah, a kid's
Proud of
legit.
Murray. Yeah.
Juan Soto from Mike. Now you're national, or no, sorry, Matt. You're Nationals. He plays left field. He's 20, I think, or 21, and has like 56 home runs in his first 2 years. I mean, and the kid's just gonna get better.
And he was out the opening weekend. He tested positive, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He the guy that tested positive and then was still playing.
No, they held him out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Juan Soto, I mean, he's probably going to be the player in baseball. Give it 5 years, and then I mean, the guy who's probably the best. I don't want to say the best. He's probably not the best, but a young player in the NBA again, Giannis. I'm not going to attempt to say his last name, but Giannis for the Bucks. I mean, if anyone's worth 10 years, I think Giannis might be.
Well, my number 3 is actually out of the NBA as well, and I'm gonna be honest. This kind of pains me to say this, and I know he's had some injury bug, but I think just because he puts butts in seats, I've got Zion as my number 3. When healthy, again, pains me to say it because of where he went to school, is one of the most electrifying players in the NBA. He's going to put butts in seats, even if he is a fraction of what productivity-wise of what he has shown so far. He's still kind of the human highlight reel. And so if I'm the New Orleans Pelicans, I'm like, yeah, we're signed, still delivered this guy as long as he wants to be here. My number 2, I do have an NFL player. It's a quarterback, but I've got Russell Wilson. And I think just because, I mean, this guy has just been the epitome of consistency across his career. He's kind of consistently in that, not necessarily right at the top level for MVP discussion, but kind of right next. He produces well. The Seahawks are always in it. And with the rules changes around the way you hit the quarterback, I just feel like the quarterbacks are able to play a little bit longer and a little bit longer. Now he's 31, 10 years would be 41 years old. But I think Russell Wilson is the one player in the NFL that I would give it to. I think Lamar Jackson, too much running around for him. And then my number one's going to be a little bit surprise for you guys, and it comes with a little bit of an asterisk. You know, Matt, when you were talking about picking Chelsea a few weeks ago as your EPL team, you mentioned Christian Pulisic, and he's a guy that is in his early 20s. I think he's 20 years old. Is already one of the more dominant players for Chelsea over in the EPL. If an MLS team had the opportunity, I'd sign him to 20 years if I was an MLS team, because this kid is the face of U.S. soccer for the next decade plus. He's getting it done in EPL. He could definitely get it done here. So he is my number one guy of who would get a 10-plus year, because he's already on his way up, and we're lucky to have him for Team USA. So, guys, before we finish up the show, we've got just a few minutes left, but let's get some quick hitters in. We've got a new franchise in the National Hockey League, the Seattle Kraken. Kyle, like or dislike the new mascot, team name, whole experience with the Kraken?
Neither. Love it.
Nice.
Unleash the Kraken.
Unleash the Kraken. Matt, what about you? What were your thoughts when you saw the Kraken?
What's Kraken, you're asking?
That's right.
I don't know what the heck it means, but I know their color scheme is dope, and I think that their logo is really cool. All I'm hoping is they do not come in and poach some of the Predators whenever they're doing their picks, when they get to come and take two players off each team. That's all I can hope for.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. And I think the cool thing, I read a little bit about this, is like they had other team names that they were looking to go with, but their fans were all over release the Kraken, unleash the Kraken, and they said, you know what, fine, we're going to do what the fans want. The Seattle fans already dubbing themselves as the Kraken Heads, which I think is which is quite interesting and not all that surprising.
They better be hard hitters.
That's right. We'll skip the worst franchise names, and we'll come back to that at a different time. Guys, we've got to touch on what is now known as the Washington football team. I get it from some standpoint of not making a decision, wanting to get through this season and coming back. But, Kyle, when you see that, I mean, what is your initial thoughts on the Washington football team?
I'm good with it for a year. It is what it is there. What I did see, I read that there was somebody that did a little research into websites and found that the company that ran what used to be the Washington Redskins website has now bought the domain for the Washington Sentinels of the Replacements fame.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, that'll be something to watch for sure. Matt, I'm going to come to you with a different topic. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. have announced that on September 12th, which is a pretty great day, it's my birthday, they are going to have an 8-round exhibition. So at 52 years of age, Iron Mike is back. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
What I was thinking is, are they going to stop and are they going to stop the fight halfway through and let him have a little break? But I think he's going to come in. Honestly, I don't think he's even going to need it. I think he's going to knock this Joker out probably within a round. I think he's going to be over.
Well, it's an exhibition, so I would be highly surprised if somebody got knocked out. But I think you're talking about a draw like that. Whatever, I'm sure it's going to be a pay-per-view, but that draw for that fight, just given not only Mike Tyson's career and kind of how that unfolded towards the end with the biting incidents and then just really kind of fading away, but then how he's remained so popular in pop culture. There's a whole list of fans that had never probably seen him fight before, but know him as the guy from The Hangover or, all the antics that he's done. And to be able to see him fight again, I'm excited. I mean, that's something that I'm willing to buy. We should buy it and do our show that Sunday, right after the fight. It's going to be pretty good. So, well, guys, I hate to skip out on any other topics, but we got to get out of here. We are running short on time, but we will be back next week, episode 26 of Dad's Watching Sports. Y'all stay tuned and stay care. Stay care, is that a word? Who knows?
Stay care.
Take care. We'll see you next week. Dad's Watching Sports. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.